We're a few minutes late. Today we are truly testing the technology of webinars. We have one person running the webinar from Montana, and we've got one person facilitating questions from Fond du Lac, and we have myself doing the introduction from Boston, and we have our keynote speakers from Grand Traverse. So we are truly testing this technology, and we think we've got it all sorted out. So thank you for being here today. I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction for those of you who didn't join us last time on our work group. I wanted to talk about what Tribal P2 is. We are a work group that was formed in 2003, and what we do as a work group is identify and address environmental issues that are affecting tribal nations using pollution prevention methodologies. So we do this, and when we talk about pollution prevention, we're talking about really any activity that's eliminating or reducing pollution. So it can be anything from increasing the energy efficiency in a building to moving from a green cleaning or from a chemical-based cleaning system to a green cleaning system, or it can be maybe changing what some of the what your primary energy source is in your community from over to a renewable source. So we have featured topics on all of these. We have featured speakers on all these different topics, and right now we're focusing on green casinos. So we have, next slide please, Mary. Our work group members are folks that participate in our listservs, that have participated in our calls, and that we just try and connect with through email and through our website. So there's a map of where our work group members are. And in the next slide, you'll see what our homepage is of our Tribal P2 work group. So on this homepage and on this website, we house all of the presentations that you'll hear today, and we have information on other resources that we've featured in the past. And our goal with this network is really to highlight the great work that our peers are doing. So all of our tribal communities around the country have really created many, many success stories. And with this work group, we're just trying to share what they have done with the folks that are trying to do something similar or maybe a little bit different, but we're just trying to share successes and lessons learned from our peers. So next slide. This initiative is what we're calling our Green Casino Initiative. It's the fourth Tuesday of every month. We had one call already, which was January 22nd. On that call, we focused on LED retrofitting. That was our energy efficiency part 1. Today is our energy efficiency part 2, where we're going to look at some of the other issues that can really help reduce your energy usage in casinos. March 26th, we're going to talk about products and green building and a little bit about the Design for Environment program. On April 23rd, we're going to talk about food waste and food recovery. May 28th, we're featuring ventilation, aspects of ventilation, and also a couple of smoke-free facilities. And on June 25th, we're talking about different amenities like golf courses, spa facilities, pools, that type of thing. So we have speakers. We have identified some speakers in each of those areas, but if any of you or your colleagues have expertise in these areas, please let us know, because on each call we would like to feature a couple of tribal casinos. And next slide. We're also in this process pulling together some of the existing resources that we have that are out there already, and we're pulling those into a toolkit that we're going to be developing online, and also, I believe, as a hard copy. So I'm going to flip through some of what these existing resources are really quickly. The first is a best practices, is a Tribal Casinos Pollution Prevention Best Practice worksheet. And so all of these resources you can access from our site as well. The next slide is an article that I wrote with the Santa Ynez Chumash tribe a couple of months ago, and that was on how they managed to cut their energy costs by 18%. We're also pulling together a couple of case studies that already exist, and for each of our speakers, we're turning their presentations into their very own case studies. So we're compiling this into a compendium. So there's an example of another tribal casino P2 project. The next slide is an example of a fact sheet simply on bathroom air hand dryers. The next slide is a fact sheet that exists simply on food waste issues in casinos. The next slide is simply on LED retrofits for slot machines. And finally, we have a slide here which is on green certification and rating opportunities. So these are just a few examples that I wanted to show you that exist, that we have posted on our site and that we are going to be kind of rolling into a toolkit. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our keynote speaker today, which is the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, and we have a couple of different speakers from that resort today that are going to talk to you about energy efficiency opportunities that they've found within their facility. And are you there, J. Mike?
We are here. Thank you.
Great.
Let me show my screen and the PowerPoint that we've put together like that. There we go. The chat for now. So first thing we wanted to do was to introduce our properties to you by the geography where we're located. We are located in the Great Lakes area, the state of Michigan. We're about 4 hours from Detroit, from Cleveland about 6 hours, from Chicago about 6 hours. And the star right here indicates the Grand Traverse region, and Traverse City is the big city that we're near. Grand Traverse Resort and Spa is located at the star, and right about over here where 72 is Turtle Creek Casino. First, a little organizational information for you about how we're organized. The Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians has a business entity that's referred to as the Economic Development Corporation, and the name of the Economic Development Corporation is Grand Traverse Resort and Casinos. Under Grand Traverse Resort and Casinos, we have Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel, Leelanau Sands Casino and Lodge, and Grand Traverse Resort and Spa as the three big businesses that the tribe has that are operated through the Economic Development Corporation. There are other smaller businesses that are also operated through the Economic Development Corporation. And then the government operates housing, healthcare, and other services directly for tribal members. That said, let's go and take a look at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, which is 900 acres, about 600 rooms, suites, and condominiums. We have 3 golf courses, one designed by Jack Nicklaus, one designed by Gary Player. And it's a very complex property to operate, and it's been in existence. Well, the 6-story hotel that we have, that opened up in 1980. There's about 240 rooms in the 6-story hotel. The 17-story tower opened up in 1986, and there's about 186 rooms in there. Over here is our clubhouse. This is our health club area. We have area along Grand Traverse Bay, which is in the background here. We have some property along Grand Traverse Bay with a condominium complex. So we're a very complex property when you take a look at it. And it made it interesting for us to turn our operation over to a more eco-friendly way of doing things. And it took a lot of effort on our part in both some facility retrofits, but mainly in changing the culture of the organization. So we formed a green committee, and we'll get into that later on. I want to also talk a little bit about Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel, which is located 4 miles to the east of Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel was founded, I think it was in 1986, or in 1996. And in 2008 was reconstructed into a modern facility that has a lot of green features built right into the facility. And some of the features are here on this slide. For example, skylights that are in the facility, in the building, both in the hotel and in the on the casino gaming floor. that let in natural light, and so that reduces the amount of energy that's needed during the day. At the time, all of the slot machines were converted from coin to ticket in, ticket out. Of course, there's electricity savings from that. There was a state-of-the-art HVAC system that was put in to purify the air. And when the air is purified, it's then discharged outdoors. Before it was discharged outdoors without purification, with the new facility, it goes through a purification system. The ceiling is sloped from the highest point of 50 feet to about 12 feet at its lowest point. That provided more space and cleaner air for the guests and the employees that are in the facility. There's centralized beverage dispensing, which adds to efficiency and reduced energy use. One of the kitchens does double duty. The buffet kitchen also prepares meals for any groups that are meeting in the banquet area, in the ballroom, and so there's efficiency from that. The kitchen vents go to purifiers in the mechanical space where grease is trapped and the air is purified before it's vented to the outdoors. And then when that the grease is reclaimed, and we have a waste hauler that handles the grease for us. All of the pavement from the former facility was reclaimed and recycled and used in creating new pavement, new concrete, the gutters, and the foundation for Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel. There's an organization in Michigan called the Champion Tree Project, and there were 12 champion trees which are cloned from the national champion Norway maple in Empire, which is not far from us, that were planted on property. Again, a green effort there to try and preserve the ecology through planting of trees. The mechanical systems, air, water, lighting, heat, and hot water are all high efficiency systems. The boilers are high efficiency, and we use natural gas. The previous system was propane, and there was an estimated payback of 3 years for the switchover with a lower CO2 discharge. And also, there was a green roof that was installed on Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel, and it was the first green roof in Michigan for a casino facility. There might be a couple of other things. Our CEO of Grand Traverse Resort and Casinos, Rich Bailey, is with us as well. And Rich, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, thank you, J. Mike. With the design of the Turtle Creek property, one thing that we did want to call attention to was we were one of the first casinos to use skylight lighting throughout the casino floor, which is a first and was somewhat unprecedented in casino design. When we chose to incorporate that into the project, we actually had to take into consideration the positioning of the sun, where that was going to be, as that would have a direct impact on the game performance if we kind of missed the sun angles just due to the different times of the year. Obviously, the direct sunlight onto a video game or a machine would have a time impact on the amount of play and certainly the comfort level of the guests. So with that, the guest response has been overwhelmingly popular with the natural lighting. We've been able to estimate that about 50% of the casino lighting does come from the skylight technology that we did introduce to that piece. As J. Mike did mention, we do have the centralized kitchen concept built into the property, which the real positive there is that we don't have any grease traps on the property. From a operations standpoint, the team has really taken a green-friendly approach, and when possible, with the housekeeping or the casino housekeeping department, we've minimized the amount of chemical usage down to 6 different types of chemicals that are used, and whenever appropriate, we do go to a household vinegar solution-based cleaner when possible or when appropriate. As Jay Mike did mention, with the introduction of the first casino green roof in Michigan, that also does. We do have the food and beverage departments. They grow rosemary, thyme, some organic spices, which are in turn used at the higher end steakhouse.
Thanks, Rich. I'm going to hand it over to Bob Kewaygoshkum, who is a member of the Tribal Council of the Grand Traverse Band, and he had some information about the Grand Traverse Band's philosophy and a teaching on ecology. Bob?
Thanks, Jay Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. Like Jay Mike said, my name is Robert Kewaygoshkum. I'm a member of the Tribal Council, Vice Chair, also on the Economic Development Board, Chairman of the Board. But I was telling Jay Mike, I said, there's a teaching that we pass on to our organizations. If I didn't do that, the elders will not forgive me. You know, we also got to pass that teachings on to everybody as we go along this process. But as many of you know, Native American people live in balance, harmony with all creations, including the plants, animals, and those that walk, crawl, and swim. But we realize that we are only a small part of this creation, that by taking care of ourselves and those things around us, include the ground we walk upon, the Mother Earth. And we honor the great spirits and our ancestors in the spiritual worlds that go on before us and give us guidance. But our people only took what we needed from this Mother Earth when it was needed, and everything or part of animals that was used for subsistence. Nothing was wasted. All these teachings were contained in a language, a way of life, before contact with other nations. But today, some of our people strayed away from these teachings, and our Mother Earth is suffering as of that result. But it's not too late for everyone in this country. We can still make a difference. We need your help too. Together, we all can make a difference. And as we all know, we can help each other in doing this. We pass this philosophy on down to our organizations within our casinos, our hotel resorts, our travel government, and also to all of our members in our community. So this is a short teaching, but it's something we have to pass on to everybody as we guide our green initiatives in this world today. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Really important, and I think that adds the background for why we are taking great effort to change the culture of the employees at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, and also it's happening at Turtle Creek, it's happening at Leelanau Sands Casino, and also at the tribal government. There are green initiatives that are happening amongst the staff as well. But we wanted to focus, if we could, for a little while on Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, because it's by far and away from a footprint, it's the largest facility with all of the acreage and operations that we have. And it probably took the greatest amount of effort. I'd like to turn over the phone to Jessica Neihardt, who is the chair of our Green Committee at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, and she can kind of go through some of the ways that the Green Committee has changed the culture.
Thank you, Jay Mike. Good afternoon, everybody. The Green Committee here at the resort was put together several years ago, and we wanted to make a better impact, a more eco-friendly impact on our local environment. I have been a member of the committee for about 3 years, going on 1 year as the chairman. And what our Green Committee is we're dedicated to reducing our economical impact. We do so by trying to reduce any kind of energy usage. We look for vendors that are more green and economically friendly, along with using our local community as vendors, trying to get as much local produce and supplies from people in the community as possible. Just to run our Green Committee a little bit more efficiently, we recently decided to appoint several officers to help run our committee. We have myself, the chairman, we have a secretary, our Green Suggestion Program Coordinator, and our Community Events Coordinator. And the Green Suggestion Program Coordinator is somebody who helps facilitate any new green policies that we try to implement here at the resort. They go through all the proper channels to find out whether or not suggestions that come along can be implemented. And our green community events coordinator reaches out into the community to find out if there's anything that we can do to help out our local community as far as green and ecologically friendly events. Some of our objectives here on our green committee are to in fact act as environmental leaders and role models for the staff here at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. We want to increase environmental awareness and collectively make decisions that will positively impact the environment around us. And we also want to make sure we assist our environmental management system representatives, or EMS representatives, in planning and coordinating our environmental initiatives. And some of the things that we do in our community to try to help improve our ecological footprint is we participate annually in Adopt a Stream and AdoptAHighway in different areas of the community, such as United Way Day of Caring. We also help out some local nonprofits who do some really wonderful things in the community.
Jessica, I just want to interject that the Green Committee is composed of representatives from virtually every single resort department. And the environmental management system is our system for making sure that all of the operations around the property are as environmentally friendly as can be, and that we're trying to make improvements where we can. So back to you, Jessica.
Thank you, J. Mike. All right, we do, like J. Mike mentioned, we do have members from almost every department, and we want to make sure that we can all get together and talk about what we can do to improve our impact here at the resort. So we do meet monthly, the first Tuesday of every month at 3 p.m., subject to change. But we have many benefits of being on the Green Committee, and we pride ourselves in the influence we have on others and being able to be that voice for the resort to make sure that we're doing what we can to make sure that we are reducing our carbon footprint and being as green friendly as possible. And we're very serious about our commitment to environmental stewardship, and to increase participation and dedication to our Green Committee, we have a PTO, which is personal time off incentive program in place for qualifying members of our Green Committee with full-time employment status. With this next slide, this is a picture of our most recent poster. We have this all over in the resort. This is our most recent campaign to raise awareness about the Green Committee and to kind of show people what we do and get them a little bit more interested in finding out what the Green Committee does and what it means to be a member. This is just something we do to, it's eye-catching, and it gets your attention and makes you ask questions, and that's what we want from our resort employees. This next picture is some of our members in our annual and sometimes semi-annual AdoptAHighway event. We have a stretch of the highway right in front of the resort that we have adopted, and we make sure that we keep that clean and tidy a couple times a year to help out AdoptAHighway. This next slide was actually last year at the National Cherry Festival. We participated with Bay Area Recycle for Charities and did a walk to raise awareness, to let people know that the resort has a Green Committee, and to let our community know that we are involved and we are very serious about what we do, but we also like to have fun.
Talk a little bit about Bay Area Recycling for Charities and our relationship.
Okay. Bay Area Recycling for Charities, or BARC, is a local nonprofit organization that we started utilizing a couple years ago as an off-property composting option for us. We do some composting here on property, but the majority of it goes to Bay Area Recycling for Charities, in which we lease composting bins from them that are located in several areas on our property. And they were started a couple years ago right in Traverse City, and I found out recently that thanks to us, and our efforts in helping them out, their location had to they had to relocate because they needed the bigger properties to help out with their composting efforts. But we're really happy to be able to be a part of that. And BARC also, they raise awareness in the community of things that you can do to be more eco-friendly and to help the environment. So we're really, really happy and really proud to be able to be a part of that. This is one of the bulletin boards found here at the resort. TerraCycle is one of the brigades organizations that we are a part of. They have several different brigades, and the ones that we are a part of right now is the Beauty Brigade. And what that entails is taking used plastic products from the guest rooms, like lotion, body wash, shampoo, conditioner, used amenities, and we empty those and we send the empty containers to TerraCycle, and they are responsible for recycling them in a proper way to make sure that they have the less environmental impact as possible. And they also help you build points, and once you get so many points towards that, they will use those points to donate to different organizations and charities of your choice. So we're also very happy to be a part of that. This is our green suggestion tree. This is located also here at the resort, and this just has several branches that have suggestions from our employees on different things that you can do at work as well as at home to reduce your carbon footprint and to be more eco-friendly. So this is something we really like to share. This is our green wall, which is located fairly close to our green tree. This was started, I believe, in 2008 when we became Michigan Green Lodging Leader certified. And we've expanded this quite a few times. As you'll notice, there's many signatures on here, and this is part of what we like to do for the new hires here at the resort. We go through their orientation and explain to them what it means to be a green steward at the Grand Traverse Resort, and by pledging their commitment to that, they sign our green wall. Yep. And that is also located in one of our service hallways here at the resort. This is a copy of our current environmental policy. And this is located in several areas in the resort as well, just to remind people that we are serious about our commitment to the environment. And this is a policy. It is mandatory. It's not voluntary. This is who we are as a property. These are some of our environmental objectives. We have some reductions in solid waste, in energy usage, an increase in purchases from local and green vendors, and a decrease in office paper consumption. And we're very proud to be able to have these goals, and it gives us something to strive for and to reach for here at the resort. And this is some of our EMS, or environmental management system terminology. An environmental management system is a set of processes and practices that enable an organization to reduce its negative environmental impacts and increase its operating efficiency.
Thanks, Jessica. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the retrofits and replacement of equipment, and I'm going to hand the phone over to Tom Peters, who's the Director of Engineering at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa and is also a member of the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians, to kind of take us through the next couple of slides. Tom?
Good afternoon, Tom Peters. Just wanted to review some of the infrastructure. I've been here about 6 years, and we started working on the infrastructure at that time, and we've had a significant impact on our electrical bills. These are a couple of the boiler systems that we have in for the tower. Our resort is really 27 years old on well, it's 33 years old on the older portion of it, and then 27 years on the new tower. These boilers represent the heat for the tower, which is hot water heat. There's 3 of them there. Each one is 2 million BTUs per hour, and they're PK units. And so we've increased significantly, replacing our Unilux system that was in there before. We figured about 60% efficiency on the Unilux system. When we put these things in 2007, we increased that up to about 95%. So we've continued to do that, and the tribe has invested into the domestic hot water and the heating systems within the tribe. We have 9 boiler systems that we've upgraded. That's a significant investment in each of the areas. And the next slide will show you right here, you can't always, in an older facility like this, you can't always afford to do all of them. So we have a RayPack unit, and there was a RayPack unit where the PK was also located. That's 750 BTUs for domestic hot water for our tower. We were able to replace one of them now, and in the next year we'll try to replace the other one. Yeah, that's the other. That's the RayPack unit that's right there. So we're continuing to do that. And our next project, the next project that we'll have, you see from the top of the tower looking down, is we have bone chillers right there. We have 2 of them, 300 ton each. And those things are about 27 years old. The expected life on those is 23 years. So we've got an extra 4 years out of those things, but they're in desperate need of being replaced. We're leaking coolant, and there's a number of things in the summertime when the heat gets up that we need to rely on that for our business. And so next week, as a matter of fact, we're replacing one of the banks of those with a brand new chiller system. And that's our next project. We figured that that'll have an impact on the environment, both on our electrical use and on the air quality around us.
Thanks, Tom. You know, this slide was shot from fairly high up on the tower. And there's a couple of other things that are on this slide that I think are pretty interesting. Jessica talked a little bit about Bay Area Recycling for Charities. And over here, you can see these bins. These are the bins that our food waste goes into that Bay Area Recycling for Charities picks up and hauls away to be composted. This looks like it might be one of our cardboard recycling bins. And I think there's another cardboard recycling bin located over here. Obviously, this is one of the service areas that we have at the resort. But those are some elements that we keep in the background and keep these things that our guests can't see. But we also do some great things for our guests by putting recycling bins in every guest room that we have. And I want to remind you again, we have almost 600 guest rooms, suites, and condominiums. They all have a recycle bin in them as well as a waste can for our guests. The next few slides, I'm going to hand the phone back over to Jessica just to give you an idea of some of the things that we've done in the departments internally in the resort to communicate how to recycle and how things should be done. Jessica?
Thank you, J. Mike. This next slide is just an example of one of the many recycle signs that we have here at the resort. We are able to recycle plastics numbers 1 through 7, glass, metal, styrofoam. And we also compost, and we have our trash and our returnable bins. And this is just an example. We make sure that all of our departments have the proper bins and signage that they need that would be relevant to their areas. We make sure that all of these bins and signs are clearly marked and posted, and if they clearly state on there the examples of what items can be recycled in specific bins and what items can not be. And it also gives, lets you know where, if you're not sure where to find the recycle signs or the number for what type of plastic you're recycling, it'll give you an idea of where to find that. And this slide right here is just, this is the different pictures and examples of what we do as far as recycling and composting. This next slide just lets you know the different types of plastics and what they are made up of and why they're labeled the way they are, how much plastic content is in each, different examples of different items that you'll find marked with these specifically. Up until a couple of years ago, we only had the capabilities of recycling plastics number 1 and 2, but luckily within the last couple of years, we've been able to upgrade that system, and we can recycle all types of plastic.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the slides that we have for everybody today. Be happy to entertain any questions that anybody would like to ask.
Hi, this is Shannon at Fond du Lac. Does anybody have any questions? I know I had a couple I can get started with. I was curious about the grease trapped through the purifiers. About how much grease do you collect that way? Is it a significant amount?
That's a good question. I don't know if anybody in the room has an answer for that. CEO Richard Bailey had to step out for a few minutes, but we can certainly find out and send that information to you so that that can be conveyed to the rest of the people who are participating in the webinar.
Yeah, it'd be Hello? Sorry, I got muted, but it would be interesting to know because I think that's, you know, one method a lot of people don't think of as far as collecting grease, and so you see it all over your cupboards at home and stuff. There's really a lot that goes into the air. Was there anybody else that had any questions? I'm not seeing any here right now.
Hi, Shannon. I see a few questions in the question queue. Are you able to see those?
Okay. I'm not able to see those.
Oh, okay. Great. I will shout them out to you here. First question is, did the speakers explore using the waste grease as biodiesel?
Again, I think that's a good question, and we don't have an answer for you for that right now, but we can certainly find out.
Great. Thank you, J. Mike. The next question is, what kind of chillers will you be installing?
And the answer from Tom Peters. Tom?
This year we've, let's see here.
Maybe if we need a few minutes for that question, I'll move on to another one in the meantime. Are rebate incentives helping cover capital costs?
Say that again?
The question is, are rebate incentives helping cover capital costs?
Another good question, and I don't have an answer for that, but I would think that perhaps Rich Bailey, who is back in the room now, might have an answer for us. Rich?
Okay.
Hi there. Yes, we are working with the with our local services providers to recoup some of our capital expenditures. For instance, we do work with the our electric company with the introducing variable speed drive technology into the properties, and so yeah, we have definitely seen a positive step forward with that, and a lot of cooperation with the outside agencies.
We have an answer on the chillers. Here's Tom.
Yeah, the ones that we're putting in place are York chillers. We got that the design for the casino is using those, so we have a little bit more familiar with those types of chillers. We have a local mechanical contractor, and we should start addressing those next week. And we have installed a dryer on that system. It's a screw-based system. Dryer system is going to save us energy in the wintertime because we still have cooling needs in the wintertime up here.
Great, thank you so much. Looks like we have a couple more questions. How did you expand the recycling of plastics from types 1 and 2 to all types?
It was working very closely with our waste hauler, and we actually created a system in every resort department where we have multiple bins for the different types of plastic recycling. But we couldn't have done it without working in close concert with our waste hauler.
Great, thank you. Our next question is, do you have any idea what the savings in energy costs was from the installation of daylight and skylights?
Good question, because it would be difficult to measure what the savings were, because it was a brand new facility compared to the previous Turtle Creek casino. So it's difficult to say, but I think Rich Bailey might have a few words to address that.
Yeah, when we implemented or received the go-ahead to go with the skylight piece, our original estimate was that by introducing the natural light into the property, we would see a 50% savings by the amount of lighting that we were required to put in those areas. So in a sense, what happened there was we did make a conscious decision to eliminate the amount of lighting fixtures that were introduced into the ceiling. However, at the same time, we did know that by introducing that to a certain extent, well, we had to maintain the code, of course, but one of the other pieces that we did see was that at the nighttime periods, we would certainly have reduced lighting in the operation. But obviously, also the lighting, the LED lighting, which is brighter, has been incorporated into all of our slots and signage. So when it comes down to the nighttime hours, we do see have a little bit darker property than what we did at the original, but certainly has been an overwhelming success in the eyes of us as operators and owners, as well as from the guest perspective.
Great, thank you so much, Rich. If anybody else has questions, feel free to type them into the questions panel in your GoToWebinar control panel. Go ahead, J. Mike.
Just waiting to see if there are any more questions. It certainly has been an exciting process so far.
Great. It looks like that is all that has come in so far. Maybe we'll just give it one more moment.
All right. While we're waiting, Rich, earlier there was a question about exactly how much grease is hauled away, and has there been any investigation into using that grease as a conversion over for biodiesel?
That is actually a great question. We have not gone down the path of a conversion over to biodiesel. So at this time right now, I can't go ahead and answer that.
But we can find out.
But we can definitely find out. Yes. Good question.
Hey, good. This is Shannon, and I actually did have one more question for you also while we wait and see if there are any others. It's in regards to your green casino roof. Did you say you were growing herbs on it?
Yeah, we do a limited amount of herbs that we grow, whether it be the kind of the basil, rosemaries, and thymes and whatnot.
I think that's a great idea. I don't think a lot of people, I think, usually use the sedum or, some other plants, but that's a great idea to use it for herbs.
Yeah, it is a piece that we have advertised in the specifically our Bourbon's P72 Steakhouse. Certainly is kind of a nice feature. It's a unique feature for the casino operations, and part of the response that we've got from that program is also kind of transferring that concept from the green roof directly down over to maybe the outdoor seating area, which is around the Bourbon's P72 restaurant. So just kind of have a natural feel and see that the casino is taking a different approach to where we're getting all of our necessary supplies for the operations.
Let me just add one other thing about, if I can, this is J. Mike again, about the supplies that Rich referred to. One of the things at Grand Traverse Resort that we've tried to do as Jessica mentioned, use more local vendors. Well, because we have so much business every year, we literally have hundreds of thousands of guests that come here every year. We can use up ingredients from the local community that we're in a heartbeat. So what we do is we have defined our local vendors as anybody that's within the state of Michigan, and that has allowed us to really focus our efforts and make sure that we're bringing the freshest ingredients to the tables, whether it's in a restaurant or in a banquet space that we possibly can. Oh, and Jessica just reminded me that the resort also, we have an herb garden at the resort that our chefs use for some of the restaurants.
Well, that is it for the questions, it looks like. Shannon?
Yeah, so there are no more questions. Okay, well, I just want to thank you all so much for speaking on the call. It was very informative and very inspiring. I can't wait to share some of the things you're doing with our staff. And I want to thank you to everyone that called in for this webinar. And next month, our webinar date will be on, just lost it. It will be on March 26th, and it's on the Products in Green Building, like Mila said. So, again, we have a few speakers in mind, but if you have any projects you'd like to share with people, please get a hold of one of us and let us know. So, thanks, everybody, and have a great day. Is that what for you?